Overthinking, dear friends, is a silent thief. It infiltrates our minds, steals our inner peace, and wreaks havoc with its incessant storm of thoughts. It's all too easy to get caught in this vortex, ruminating on a past that no longer exists, agonizing over a future that has yet to arrive, or endlessly analyzing a present that eludes us. If you, too, are tired of feeling overwhelmed by this burden and are looking for a way to find serenity, you've come to the right place. Buddhist philosophy, with its ancient wisdom from the Buddha, offers us timeless gifts that help us free ourselves from the chains of overthinking, guiding us toward a true spiritual awakening. Today, together, we'll explore 6 valuable Buddhist teachings, 6 pearls of wisdom for life that will illuminate your path to a calm and more peaceful mind. So stay until the end, because what you discover could change your life. And before continuing, like the video, share it with anyone who might be interested, and share your location in the comments. Let's immerse ourselves in these life lessons from the Buddha, in these stories of Buddhist wisdom, and rediscover the mental clarity and tranquility we all deeply deserve, a fundamental step toward our personal growth and self-improvement. First lesson: the past is ash, the future is vapor. Live in the present, the here and now. How often, tell me, are we consumed by the ghosts of the past? By regrets that weigh on the heart, by guilt that weighs on the soul, by the yearning nostalgia for what might have been? Or, on the contrary, do we anxiously project ourselves into the future, anxiously wondering what will happen, what misfortunes might befall us, or how we can desperately prepare for the unknown that awaits us? But the truth, as simple and profound as any of Buddha's stories, is this: the past has already vanished, like smoke in the wind, and the future has not yet arrived, but is only a distant echo. Buddha's teachings gently remind us of the supreme importance of living in the present moment. He said, "Don't dwell on the past, don't dream about the future, focus your mind on the present." This precious teaching encourages us to release the iron grip that holds us both to the regrets of the past and to the anguish of the future, and to focus our attention on the only moment that truly exists, the now. Think about it. The moment you find yourself in right now, reading or listening to these words, is the only moment that truly belongs to you. The present is the stage where life unfolds in all its fullness. It is the secret garden where you can find true inner peace. If you allow yourself to be fully present, without getting lost in the labyrinth of thoughts about the past or the future, you begin to experience greater peace and mental clarity. Excessive thoughts, like shadows in the sun, fade away when you learn to embrace the present moment as it is, living consciously. One of the ancient Buddhist wisdom stories tells the story of an old monk who, while on a journey, came across a mighty river with his young disciple. The monk, with serenity and seraphic composure, crossed the river without hesitation. His disciple, however, couldn't stop thinking about the danger of crossing, fearing that the violent current would sweep him away. The monk, noticing his disciple's hesitation and anxiety, said with a patient smile, "Don't worry, my friend. The river always flows, with its own strength. But the only way to truly overcome it is to be present and trust in this very moment." This story teaches us that obsessing over past mistakes or worrying about future obstacles only prevents us from fully experiencing the gift of the present. This is one of the fundamental Zen teachings for daily inspiration. Second lesson: thoughts are passing clouds. Observe them without clinging. We often feel overwhelmed by our thoughts, as if drowning in a stormy sea. The mind becomes saturated, like a stormy sky filled with dark, threatening clouds. But Buddha, in his infinite Buddhist wisdom, teaches us to see our thoughts as clouds crossing the vast sky of our mind, impermanent, fleeting, and ever-changing. He said, "With our thoughts, we create the world." The key here, my friend, is not to cling to our thoughts or completely identify with them. Like clouds in the sky, our thoughts come and go, they don't define our essence. When we stop clinging to them in desperation, we free ourselves from their illusory power. Imagine sitting quietly on the bank of a river, watching the water flow slowly and steadily. You see leaves floating in the current. You don't reach out to pick up each leaf individually, do you? You let them pass by effortlessly, knowing that more leaves will come and more will go. Likewise, let your thoughts flow. Don't cling to them, don't judge them, don't try to obsessively control them. Let them float like clouds in the sky, and you'll see that overthinking, that incessant mental chatter, naturally disappears, bringing with it positive thoughts and a calm mindset. Buddha once said that our lives are determined by our minds, because we become what we think. This reminds us that by letting go of negative or overactive thoughts, we can shape our lives with a clearer and more peaceful mindset, oriented toward inner success and happiness. Lesson 3: Overthinking is the root of suffering. Let go of control. The more we obsessively think, the more we suffer. It's a simple equation of the human condition. We try to analyze every possible outcome, worry about every imaginable scenario, and cling to things completely beyond our control. But this attitude, this internal struggle, only generates more stress and anxiety. Buddha, in his profound life lessons, affirmed that suffering is not caused by the events in our lives, but by our reaction to them. Karma stories often illustrate this principle of cause and effect. In other words, it's not external circumstances that cause our suffering, but how we choose to respond to them. When we overthink and obsess over things we can't change, we invite unnecessary pain into our lives. Letting go of the compulsive need to control everything is essential for our personal growth. Learn to accept what is and free yourself from the illusion of control. This is a powerful step in breaking the cycle of overthinking. Ask yourself, can I control this? If the answer is no, let it go. By surrendering to the need for control, you free your mind from the constant cycle of worry and anxiety. A well-known Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, once told a revealing story about a person who was constantly trying, with immense effort, to push a heavy rock up a steep hill. The person made superhuman efforts, complained, and used all his energy, but the rock didn't budge an inch. Thich Nhat Hanh, with his usual simplicity, asked, "Why do you push a rock that clearly isn't moving? Let go, and the path will become clear." This lesson teaches us that overthinking and struggling with the reality of things only exhausts us. Sometimes, letting go is the most powerful and liberating act we can perform, a true motivator in life. Teaching 4: Cultivating Awareness. Anchoring the mind to the breath. Self-awareness, or mindfulness, is the practice of paying full attention to the present moment, without judgment. It involves being aware of our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, without being carried away or overwhelmed by them. It is one of the fundamental practices for inner peace taught in Zen and Buddhist teachings. One of the simplest and most effective ways to practice mindfulness is to focus on your breathing. When you feel overwhelmed by thoughts, when your mind seems like it's in turmoil, return to your breathing. Inhale deeply, hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly and completely. Each breath grounds you in the present moment, allowing you to calm your mind and find your center. Buddha said, "When the mind is calm, the breath is calm." This reflects the profound connection between the state of our mind and the rhythm of our breathing. By grounding ourselves in our breathing, we can bring our mind to a state of peace, effectively breaking the cycle of overthinking. The mind is everything. What you think about, you become. By practicing mindfulness and focusing on your breathing, you train your mind to remain calm and focused. The more you practice this simple yet powerful technique, the less influence overthinking will have on you, allowing you to achieve lasting mental clarity. Fifth lesson: simplicity is freedom. Stop complicating your life. In a world filled with endless distractions and complexities, it's easy to overcomplicate our lives. We worry about everything: our work, our relationships, our appearance, our future. But Buddhist philosophy teaches us that simplicity is the key to true happiness and peace. When we simplify our lives, we free ourselves from the oppressive weight of unnecessary worries and embrace a mindful life. Buddha often spoke about the importance of simplicity, both in thought and action. In the Dhammapada, it is said, "There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path." This means that happiness isn't something you should chase or overthink. It is found in the simple, precious moments of every day. By simplifying our lives, letting go of material and mental excess, and focusing on what truly matters, we free ourselves from the exhausting cycle of overthinking. Zen monks live by a principle called shibomi, which refers to the intrinsic beauty of simplicity. A Zen master once said, "The simpler life is, the deeper its meaning." They realized that by reducing mental clutter and focusing on the essentials, they could experience a more peaceful, meaningful, and inspiring life every day. Sixth lesson: have faith in impermanence. Nothing lasts, not even your struggles. Always remember, my friend, nothing lasts forever, not even the difficulties and challenges you face daily. The Buddhist teaching of impermanence, or anicca, reminds us that everything in the universe is constantly changing. This means that even your excessive thoughts, your deepest fears, and your most acute anxieties are temporary. They too, like clouds in the sky, will pass. This is a key concept for spiritual growth. The Buddha said, "All that is conditioned is impermanent. Strive diligently." This teaching is not a call to passivity, but to trust that everything, both good and bad, will eventually change. Often, overthinking stems from a fear of permanence, a feeling of being forever trapped in an unpleasant or painful situation. But when we recognize the impermanent nature of all things, we can let go of our worries and find peace knowing that things will inevitably change. Nothing is permanent, everything is subject to transformation. Understanding this fundamental truth helps us accept that our difficulties will pass and that overthinking doesn't have to dominate our lives, allowing us to cultivate a calm and resilient mindset. Now that you've discovered these 6 Buddhist teachings to stop overthinking and find inner peace, it's time to take action. Embrace the present with your whole being, let go of useless thoughts like leaves carried away by a current, and simplify your life, focusing on the essential. Trust in the impermanence of everything, knowing that nothing is eternal, not even your most arduous difficulties. Remember, the mind is a powerful tool. With constant practice and patience, you can train it to focus, remain calm, and find the deep peace that already resides within you.